I would like to discuss about deep sex and what that is. So a lot of people right now are realizing that mindless sex, which is one night stands, having sex with your exes, having sex with people you barely know, is quite draining. And a lot of people experience what we call emotional bankruptcy, where they feel very empty and even triggered and blocked sexually. Sexual energy is a very powerful energy. It's a very creative energy. It's about manifestation. A sexual encounter is an act of manifesting energy. You can use it in three pathways, right? Transference, transmutation, and transformation. And ideally, what we want in our sexual encounters is transformation through a pathway of transmutation. But a lot of us experience transference, and I myself experienced transference, where it gives you that emotional bankruptcy. It clouds your energy. You can even feel confused, and it can even lower your self-worth in many ways, and blocking you from actually having meaningful partnerships that are based off of kindred, sort of a kindred sincerity. A lot of people are growing up, we can say, sexually, and are desiring a more meaningful and deep sexual experience. When we're talking about transmutation and transformation through the pathway of sex, which is not just penetration, it's not just intercourse, right? So a lot of men, they're like penetration, intercourse, but it's not just that, right? A lot of times we're just trying to like rush and get the thing because we want the thing and we need the thing, right? But really, I see the sexual experience as almost like I'm a farmer, right? Or a gardener. And it's intimacy, right? There's a sense of when you're the soil, right? Making the soil fertile, the seed, which is the intention. What do I want to grow? I want to grow tomato, right? Or I want to grow some lavender, right? Or basil, right? So the soil, that intimacy is where you're being tender and soft. You're nourishing it. You're nurturing the soil with vitamins, right? With nutrients. And then the seed is the intention. What do I want to grow in this soil? What do I want to grow with you, right? And then the sprouting over the seasons, again, sex it's a unraveling. It's not just a bam, bam, got it. No, right? That's very dissatisfying and creates a lot of sexual, people get a lot of sexual itch, right? And that's why they keep going around, because they have that sexual itch where they can't itch it, because what they really want is to be received. And when you're received just one time in a sexual experience, like that is it. You don't need to be going around and keep trying to like scratch the itch, right? The itch, right? The sexual itch that you have, right? When you have just one powerful, deep sexual experience where you're really received in a very sort of profound way, where you're activated by it, like divine inspiration is unopened, the crown chakra opens, type of thing, right? That has more value than, that has the deepest value of your life, right? And the desire to scratch that itch through other attachments, it just doesn't, right? Just like, I don't have the desire, just, I don't have the desire, right? So when you're growing, you're sprouting, right? We talk about the seasons, we talk about the sun, the moon, the rain, right? As your seed is growing, right? And that sprouting, that blossoming of the rose bud really represents, we can call it the Kundalini awakening, but we can also really talk about you coming into the fullness of yourself in this connection, you feeling safe, you feeling expressive, you feeling taken care of, you feeling nurtured, you feeling that reciprocity. And that's something of courtship, and that's something of friendship, and that's something that we can't just go on Tinder and just click, meet them one day, and then the next week, right? It's something of friendship. It's something that we get to know. It's something very heartfelt. And sex can be very transformative. It's meant to be healing. It's meant to be relaxing. It's not meant to scramble us. It's not meant to confuse us. It's not a mop in a bucket, as Yogi Bhajan would say, where we're sort of just frustrated and we're trying to, get the edge off, right? All of those type of ways of using, sex always leads to the same type of experience, which is dissatisfaction, and even can block us from having actually fulfilling relationships, right? So when we're talking about intimacy in a sexual experience, it's more than just the penetration. It's about your creativity. It's about creating something together. That's why I say it's manifestation. You can use that sort of power of sex to manifest. You can literally sit with each other in a sort of intimate discussion, ask each other, like, what do you want to manifest? Then you can ask, what do you want to manifest? Like, okay, what do we want to manifest? And you can pray upon that while you're in the passion, while you're in the exploration, while it can be so much of self-discovery, eye-opening. It expands you, right? And in many ways, we're bored with what, a lot of times sex, we're bored with it. That's why we're trying to scratch the itch, because we're not scratching it, so we're trying to, the itch, right? We're bored with it is because we're not actually getting anything. We're not manifesting anything through it. It's like, a lot of people's like hitting a brick wall, or like a dead end, or like rock bottom, right? Because what we really want to experience as human beings is we really want to experience that co-creation, right? To create with somebody, to be received and nurtured, and to feel healed. It's a very healing experience. But in many ways, we can get very sexually numb when we have all these sexual partners, and we can feel very low. I've seen people feel very low about themselves, right? They feel very unworthy of a more sincere partnership or a kindred partnership. They feel unworthy because your sexual energy is something that it's your spirituality. It's something very magical about you, and that's something that we just share, like, just randomly. And when we do, a lot of times we start to feel more insecure. I've seen that in people, start to feel more insecure about ourselves, and that doesn't support a manifestation, right? Energy doesn't move when it doesn't feel safe, right? And manifestation is energy that's moving, right? So I wanted to discuss about meaningful and deep sex, because I feel a lot of people on this planet, young people, millennials, Gen Zs, older people, are really awakening to a more deep and meaningful sex experience that really has to do with the healing, has to do with healing yourself. It has to do with relaxation. It has to do with manifestation, and it can be of an act of prayer, right? Even in the passion and the fire, it can still be a prayer, right? Even in the sort of exuberance of it, the sort of ecstatic, exotic experience of it, it can still be a prayer, an intention. In the way that you are moving your bodies in a sensual way that really unlocks a deeper energy within yourself, a more of expressive and more confident and fearless version of yourself. And that's kind of what I view as the experience of sex should be. You should feel a lot of, men feel, like, very confident. But what makes us feel even more confident as men and women is when we are actually getting to expand with each other, and also to have that sort of self-discovery that makes us feel more fearless. And when we start to feel more fearless and safe, really ultimately safe with our partner, and that's through friendship, that's through really deciding to grow. Like, you can't be a gardener and go out and garden in one day and plant your seed and then never come back to it. It doesn't make sense. And a lot of people think that that's how it is. You can just just gonna put my garden here, put my seeds in, then just kind of leave it, and not even give attention to it, not even give presence, not even water it, not even check, is the sun on it, or how are they doing? Is it going okay, right? And I feel like people are realizing that's simply not working, right? So we are, as a collective, desiring to, we want to come into the fullness of our creative power, and sex is a pathway of that, right? Intimacy, right? And we are where it can be, when I say fearless, when you feel safe, that's when you can really open up. And having sex with ex-partners because you're bored, or having sex with people on Tinder because you want intimacy, you're feeling alone, we don't really open up. We say we're opening up, we say we're getting this fun ride, but then we feel kind of insecure in many ways, or unworthy in many ways, right? Because it's blocking the flow of energy, because we can create these attachments with these people that cloud our judgment, that kind of get us involved in other people's business that maybe we don't need to be involved in, right? Because energy is time is energy, right? So when we got when we're really united with our sexual energy, just through our own practice with ourselves and our own creative expression, our own sort of Kundalini awakening, and our own just getting to know ourselves, when we extend that out with a person that we choose through the courtship, a friendship, it's, the garden is well taken care of. You feel safe. When you feel safe, you can really open up, you can really move the energy, you can really explore, you can really evolve, right, with this person. And you can also experience manifestation, because manifestation is a seasonal thing. It's not I'm gonna get this sexual experience, I'll get some potency, and then I'll be good to go, right? It's a seasonal, like the moon phases, right, with eclipses, the equinoxes. It's very much, it's a rhythm, getting in the rhythm with each other. Like a garden, it goes to the season, it just doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't just, it's something that you decide that you want to work into your life. You decide that you want to manifest. And when we have more of that conscious understanding that I'm choosing to manifest this third energy with you, which is this healing experience with you, this inner merging the consciousness with you, for the purpose of sharing knowledge with you, and for you sharing knowledge with me, and for this kind of exchange, this sort of reciprocity, to bring us you could say further growth and development. It could be emotionally, like emotional healing or maturity, or it could even be unlocking of more creative energy, right? It becomes purposeful, and purposeful becomes this sort of craftsmanship. It's excellence, right? So when you're in the passion and the the intimacy, and you're dancing, and you're out of the town and dancing, and you could feel that energy exchange. It's that sort of intention you share, that's you, it's secret to you and this person, right? Secret, right? That sort of heartfelt intention, that this exchange is for the transmuting of ourselves, of this our you could say our fears, or parts of ourselves and that are disconnected or unhealed, and bringing that transformation so we can start to experience the fullness of our creative healing,